Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. May I take your order? We're going to be in topic 3 today with multi-digit multiplication. It's going to be multiplying large numbers, really focusing on what's called the traditional algorithm. And so you might have other strategies that have worked for you in the past, but we really want to focus on this just because of its efficiency in terms of solving the problem. So in your notes, let's start with highlighting these 3 steps that are written there. And then I actually want you to add this step into your notes. This right here is the key piece. This is why students miss problems, is because they're not doing that step. And so we're physically going to write that into your notes. And if you need to, pause the screen and write that in. That after step number 1, we are going to drop the 0. So step 1 would be to multiply by the 1. So you'll notice that this number is bolded here. But what we're actually doing here is we're multiplying this 6 by the whole 43. 6 times 3 is 18. Here's my 8. Here's my 1. Here's my 8. Here's my 1. And then 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Okay, so you are multiplying the 6 times both of those numbers. And now, what I have done here, right, is that I have used up my 6. And so I'll cross that out. Along the way, though, I also dropped my 0, and that's what this digit is right there. Right? Because I have gone from the 1s to the 10s, I'm not really doing here when I multiply by my 10s, it's not really 2 times 3. Because this 2 is in the 10s place, it's actually 20 times 3, which is worth 60. Right? And that's why we drop the 0. So we already said 2 times 3 was 6. There it is. 2 times 4 is 8. There it is. And then the third step is that we add all of everything back together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 5 plus 6 is 11. If we carry that 1, 8 plus 2 plus 1 is 10. Excuse me. 8 plus 2 plus 1 is 11. Early in the day. Okay. So right now what I want you to do is I want you to pause the screen and I want you to think about, well, why do we drop the 0? Like, what purpose does that serve for us? If you said it's a placeholder, it represents moving to another place value. Maybe it's moving to the 10s, right? Place value, that's absolutely right. It is crucial that we drop the 0. So here are some. These are not in your notes necessarily. They're just here on the board for us to try. So show them on some scratch paper on your desk somewhere. Try them out. I'll walk through the first one and then I'll let you guys try the next 2. So again, if the turtle works for you, draw the turtle. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry my 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. And if you stop to think about it, since multiplication is repeated addition, that's like adding 2 38s together. That's 16. That's 7. Okay. So now I've used up my 2. I've used up my 1. I'm moving to the 10s place, so I should drop a 0. 1 times 8, right? 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. Add it all together. 456. Pause the screen and try the next ones. There you go. There's 3 problems. You'll notice in each one, before I multiplied by the digit in the 10s place, I dropped a 0. If you have questions at this point, I want you to pause the video and come and see me. If you have questions at this point, this isn't making sense to you, you need to stop right now and come and see me. If this is making sense to you, right, if you would rate yourself a 3 or a 4, then I want you to continue. All right. So here we go. We're going to highlight the steps for multiplying by 3 digits. Right? First we're going to multiply by the 1s, then we're going to drop a 0, multiply by the 10s, then we're going to drop 2 zeros, we'll talk about that in just a second, and then finally we'll add everything together. Right? 4 times 5 gives me 20, here's my 0. Here's my 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Here's my 4, carry my 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Right, I dropped a 0. You can see it highlighted here. I've used up the 4. I've used up this 2. I've used up that 1. So now, 2 times 5 is 10. Carry my 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 2 times 1 is 2. Because I'm now moving to the hundreds place value, that's 1, 2 place values over, I need to drop 1, 2 zeros. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Carry my 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And then finally you add everything together. The only thing we've changed in this step here is that we are multiplying by another place value, so we would need to drop 2 zeros and multiply by a third number. So I'm going to let you, I guess, we'll do the 2 in the middle, and I'll let you try the other 3 on your own. Okay? So, here we go. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 2 is 37. You might be asking yourself, and I should have said this way earlier in the video, how am I getting these multiplication problems so quickly? Well, first of all, you should be practicing your math facts on extra math until you've completed them. However, if you are struggling with them, I want you to have your multiplication chart out at all times. Have it out on your desk anytime you're doing a multiplication problem so that we're focusing on the problem, not the fact. All right, I've used the 5, I've used the 1, I've used the 2. I'm moving to the tens place, I drop a 0. 2 times 3 is 6. This is another strategy. You could put your pencil point on the numbers that you are multiplying. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 7 is 14. Add it all up. 5, 7, 15, 8, 1. Pause and try. See me with questions about any of them. I'm going to talk about this problem. Oops. We're going to ignore that technical difficulty. I'm going to talk about this problem and this problem right here. First of all, here, when I did 6 times 9 and got 54, I dropped my 4 and I carried my 5. I notice a lot of students, when they do the 6 times 0 and then have to add the 5, there's some mishaps with that particular type of problem. So when you have 6 times 0, we know that 0 plus the 5, that's how I got the underlined 5. All right, so please watch for that. And then here in this last problem, you'll notice it's 3-digit times 3-digit. So when I get to the 2, I drop 2 zeros. Right? When I multiplied the 0, I dropped 1. Okay? And the rest of these zeros are because this is a 0. 0 times 7 is 0. 0 times 8 is 0. 0 times 1 is 0. Again, if you have questions, you stop the video right now, you come and see me, you send me an email, you find Mrs. Evans, it does not matter. You ask questions to get some help. Otherwise, your next steps would be to log into the online textbook. There are 3 activities associated with this one video. You must do all 3, and have a great day.